Hello and thank you for joining me. Sorry the video's a bit late. Had to visit the Outlaws over the weekend, dropping off presents, etc. For those that don't know me, my name is Alan and today's video is about layering your survival kit. Again, nothing to do with an onion per se, and the Helikon-Tex SERE pouch. Stay with me. Let's have a look at the loadout, what I've actually put into this pouch. It's got various methods of carry, and then I'll quickly discuss how that integrates with other items that I carry as EDC, and that all goes together on the layering effect. So this one's in I think it's adaptive green. They do various colours. It is approximately 5 inches wide, which for those that are metric is about 13.5 centimetres. Almost 5 inches high and about 2.5 inches thick. There is more room, so it will take a little bit more. There's a paracord loop here and one on the other side, so you could put a crab or a clip on there to put your gloves on or something like that. It's got various carry options. As you would have seen, it can be worn utilising the belt around the waist or over the shoulder. It can also have the belt removed. So it's got clips on here that enable it to be removed, the belt that is. So that's actually the belt completely removed from the pouch. It will attach via molly if you want it. Would you want it on your rucksack? Probably not, for reasons that become apparent. But what I do like about it is it also has a belt loop, and it's a little bit like a dangler. So when you actually have that on your trouser belt, it hangs a little bit lower than your waist. So if you're wearing a rucksack or a day sack over the top, you've still got access to this. You can take your rucksack off or your day sack off, and this is on your waist. The normal YKK zips, it's got a two-way zip, and the usual with the pulls, bit of heat shrink tubing over some paracord. So if I just go through the contents, then you'll see the pockets and the sleeves that are actually within it. So first thing out, it's just a little mini survival necklace, for want of a better word. This would come out of there and go around my neck, and there is just a whistle and a little photon type LED. The idea being that you've always got light or a means to signal, and it's actually on your person, so when you need it, you need it. You don't want to have to go rummaging around to find it. Orange bandana. I won't even go into the uses of that, you should know that by now. And then what there is, let's get rid of that. There's a Hanker 550 at the bottom, and then it's got 3 pockets along this section and 2 tie-off points, one there and one there. So you can actually tie your important items to it, so you're less likely to lose them. So what I've got on this side is a ferro rod. So it's on a lanyard, but it's on a quick release connector so that I can actually take it off to use it. Then in the middle one, I've got some bellows. This is something new that I bought. I've not used this before. Basically, it's a telescopic aerial with the end broke off. And then all they've done is they've put a little bit of sort of rubber section on the end, so if you're using it, the idea is that you put it into your fire if you're struggling, and you can blow down it and inject oxygen, if you like, into the fire and make it burn better. And there's a little bit of rubber on there, I suppose, because otherwise the heat will just conduct up there and potentially burn you, so there's just a bit of rubber for that. You could also, probably, though I've not used it, or tried it I should say, use it as an emergency straw, if you had to suck up water that you thought was okay to drink, you could use it as a straw. Maybe, who knows. Next in the middle pocket is my old turbo flame lighter. I know you're going to be saying, oh, it should be a Bic, we'll come to that later. But that's a turbo flame lighter. This is especially good if you're using hexamine, solid fuel tablets. It lights a lot easier with one of these than it does anything else. Then in this last pouch, or little pocket if you like, I've just got my old Gerber Recon. I don't even think you can get these anymore. But for those that don't know, it works on a single AA. It's not high powered by any stretch of the imagination, but on one AA battery, it lasts for absolutely ages. So for low level light, it's ideal. And what it has is you just turn the base to put it on. It's got red light, then you turn the dial and it's got green. You turn it again, you've got blue, turn it again, and there's white light. And there is, so that you know if it's in the dark and you want red light, there is a little slot so you can do it by feel, so you know what you're going to be, you know what light output you're going to get when you actually just twist the base. So that's it, and those 3 sleeves. The opposite side is a zipped mesh pocket, and again there is a paracord tie-off point there. And all I've got in here is a spare AA battery, which obviously goes in the Gerber Recon. It also goes in my Fenix E12, which is my ADC torch, and also my Nightcore headlamp, which just takes 1 AA. So just having 1 spare AA battery in there will go in all 3 items that I use. We've got some tinder. There's some tinder quicks in there. I think there's 4 tinder quicks in there and 3 fire plugs. So it's emergency tinder, Gorilla Tape, Fresnel lens. Not that I really need it, to be fair. I could probably get quite a good fire if there's enough solar, enough sunlight with my glasses. But Fresnel lens, the BCB signalling mirror, which I should really invest in some new ones. And then finally, there's just a pour and store bag, which is a 1 litre capacity. It's quite thick, but the good thing about them is they have a base. This is, as I say, takes 1 litre, so it will stand up. So it's an emergency water bag. And as always, there's some water purification tablets in there. Now I know people are going to be thinking, but that's not really a comprehensive survival kit. No, it's not. In previous video that I've done, I had a little pocket organiser that I showed and said, build one of these before you build a get-home bag or a bug-out bag. And that has got a survival tin and survival items, because that is really emergency-wise. Yeah, for a get-home bag, the idea is to get home as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. But if I lost my get-home bag, the pouch gives me loads of survival items that hopefully will aid my survivability and help me getting home. This is more of a layered approach for sort of, I wouldn't say everyday use, but if you were going camping or a bit of bushcraft, or even perhaps just for your bug-out bag. But the idea of this pouch is items that are useful in an emergency, but it's also items that I would be using on a day-to-day basis if I was in that scenario. The little survival tins are fantastic as an emergency backup, but if you're not going to want to be taking those items out every day to use them for multiple tasks. And that's why I think something like this is better if you're going to be going in and out of it and using it. I wouldn't want to break into a little survival tin, like a combat survival tin, to get the emergency ferro rod out to make a fire, when I'd be carrying a ferro rod in here and it can come out and go back in. So that's it. So that's my reasoning behind this. As I say, it's not a survival kit as in complete. It's part of a layered system. So that's what was in there. As part of my ADC, I wear a wristwatch. if I'm going somewhere, so I know, you say if it was a bug out bag and I was going somewhere, even if it's a bushcraft weekend or an overnighter or something, I'd be wearing a watch obviously, but there is a little Sunto clipper lighter, clipper compass. Thank you, Amazon. A compass on there, so it gives me cardinal directions. I'm going to have a main compass in my pack, but for whatever reason, this is a redundancy. I can just quickly look at my wrist to know that I'm going in the right direction, or not, as the case may be. And again, going back to your survival tin, you'll have a button compass in there, and it'll stay in there. That's for emergency use. This is something that would be getting used all the time that you're actually outside. Not walking around Tesco's, obviously, but outside. So hence why there's no compass in there. My EDC is a little vibrate pouch. And there is a Swiss Army knife on there. There's a ferro rod on there because they're the plus scales that I put on. So it's my Swiss Army knife. So that is in my pocket every single day. My EDC torch is the Phoenix. Single AA battery, hence why I'm only carrying one AA. And then in the back of it, there is a little zip section, and all that's in here is a mini Bic, and there should be a tinder plug. So this is my EDC, and this is with me every time I go out. But this, along with this, gives me more options. Then, another item that I EDC, it's this little Helikon-Tex mini medical pouch. This goes into a cargo pocket, and it is mainly a cuts kit. So there's some wound closure strips in there, some plasters, that sort of stuff. But it is quite comprehensive for its size. So for instance, there's 2 safety pins there. There is a needle that's pre-threaded with braid. There is a little tin. This one I know has got water purification tablets in it. This one's got a few paracetamol, which is a painkiller, and some anti-diarrhea tablets, because obviously the last thing you want is a squirty bum, and you'll become even more dehydrated. So that's on that side. Then in this little Ziploc there is 2 iodine prep pads and an alcohol pad. So for cleaning a wound, but also with the alcohol pad, emergency tinder. Then on this side, there is a Life System tick tweezers. Another Fresnel lens, an 8 memoir, CPR, etc. Some non-alcoholic sterile wipes. And there are a couple of dressings and plasters in that section. And as I say, wound closure strips. So that is pretty much a cuts kit. And that's something that I EDC, that's in a cargo pocket. So when you put all these items together, it's a pretty comprehensive survival kit, but they are all pretty much reliant on each one. And that's the importance of this video. It's getting the mindset that you have to treat your kit, even your prepping items, as an onion. It is layers, and together they work. You take them all apart and you're going to struggle. And the whole idea is that if you keep all your eggs, to coin a phrase, keep all your eggs in a basket, and you drop that basket, you broke all your eggs. And that's exactly the same thing. If you have all your survival kit in your go bag and it stays there when you're using it, or your get home bag, and something happens, you either have it taken away from you or you lose it, then you've got nothing. And that isn't what prepping's about. Prepping is prepping. So you always you can have all your kit in that bag, but the minute you need to use it, as soon as it is safe to do so, you go into that bag and you remove these individual pouches and wear them on your person along with your EDC items. So if you did lose your bag, it's not the end of the day. You've still got a number of items that will get you out of trouble. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, give us one of them. Consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. And as always, I'd love to read your comments. Although this is a Helikon-Tex, it hasn't got to be. Find a pouch that you would be happy to wear or that's affordable to you, that you can put some pieces of equipment in and know that it's part of a layered system. Enjoy your day. It's quite nice out there at the moment, and I'll see you soon.